Good morning, dear students. Today we will discuss about what is dramatic monologue. Earlier you have heard about we have discussed about soliloquy while we were studying the drama. Let we know what is dramatic monologue. First we try to define dramatic monologue. Dramatic monologue is a long speech by a single person. It differs from soliloquy, which means the expression of ideas by a character in a play. On the other hand, dramatic monologue is a kind of lyric which was used and improved by Robert Browning, the very famous romantic poet. These poems are dramatic in sense that these have a theatrical quality. Poems are meant to be read to an audience loudly. To say that the poem is monologue means that these are the words of one speaker with no dialogue coming from any other character. There is only one character who speaks throughout. It may be the poet himself or someone else. The reason poet chooses to write poems like this is to express a point of view through the words of a character. So we can say there is only single one point, there is only single one theme that is going to be expressed by a poet. However, often the opinion stated by the character are not the same as the views of the poet. Most of the time the speaker tries to convince someone of something, may or may not be telling the whole truth. Now next we come to the characteristics of this type of writing. A speaker is a single person who is not a poet. A speaker is a single person who is not a poet. The views of the speaker may contradict with those of the poet, or may be same as poet thinks. The speech of this character makes up the whole of the verse in a specific situation at a crucial moment. This character addresses and interacts with one or more people, but we know of the others' presence, what they say or do, only from clues in the poetic dialogues of the speaker. Primary focus of the poet is to tell the regards and audience a story having a moral in a way that boosts the curiosity towards it, the speaker's temperament and character. The subject of the monologue is self-revelation. So here let me focus what is the subject of the monologue, self-revelation. There are some other features of the dramatic monologue. The rhyme scheme is not important in dramatic monologue. The most important thing is that the poet wants to express the single thought through this type of writing. There are some examples of dramatic monologue. Which are the examples of dramatic monologue? My Last Duchess by Robert Browning. So we can say a lot of dramatic monologues have been written by the famous romantic poet Robert Browning. He was the master of this type of poems. So first and most important example of the dramatic monologue is My Last Duchess by Robert Browning. The bishop orders his tomb. It is also by Robert Browning. Andrea del Sarto by Robert Browning. Man and Women by Robert Browning. Christmas Eve and Easter Day by Robert Browning. Dramatis Personae by Robert Browning. The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. Ulysses by Tennyson, and these were famous dramatic monologues. If you want to get anything, so you can go through all these type of poems which have been mentioned here. You can go through the My Last Duchess, the Bishop Orders His Tomb, Andre del Sarto, Men and Women, Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, and Ulysses, very famous Tennyson's writing. Ulysses as a dramatic monologue which was written by Tennyson. Ulysses, the single character. So we were talking about the single character while we were talking about the definition of a dramatic monologue. Who is the main speaker is of the view that living with his wife in the house is not worthy. So what is the theme? Living with the wife is worthy or not worthy. Though Ulysses is trying to say that living with his wife is not worthy. So it can be said that he wants to say that his wife is worthless. He desires to go away for new experiences. Ulysses desires to go away for new experiences. He wants to attain knowledge which would further develop his wisdom and understanding. The poem is a protest against the idealism of the Romantic age, which Ulysses' wife is a symbol of. So this is a protest against the idealism of the Romantic age. What is the idealism is a man cannot live without a woman. A man is incomplete without a woman. These are the ideals of Romantic age. Lastly, I would say that how to write a dramatic monologue. What are the essential things to write? What are the essential features for writing a dramatic monologue? First of all, one needs to think about a character, the speech of whom will be in verse form. The speech of whom will be in verse form. The most important thing is that dramatic monologue only written in the verse form, not in the prose form. Give specific traits to the character. Here the poet focuses on the special characteristics of that character, that protagonist of the poem. The audience and the readers should be able to understand the nature of the character. Compose the dialogues in the form of a poem. Compose the dialogues in the form of a poem. The dialogues should be very clear enough to describe the character, the other character presented there, and the surroundings. Check for errors. Rewrite the script. Say with your friends. Thus, you can write a dramatic monologue. So, thank you for listening.